Okay, so apparently 2 people were planning, as so many seem to be threatening online, to do something absolutely insane to stop the count or interfere with it or something like that. So 2 men were arrested in Philadelphia late Thursday after police received a tip they'd been making threats against the Philadelphia Convention Center. So police were told the men were coming up from Virginia armed with AR-15s. Police found their Hummer near the convention center. The car was decorated with stickers promoting the conspiracy theory QAnon. Police on the scene said weapons were recovered from the car, though they did not say what kind. I don't know that it necessarily matters, but supposedly AR-15s. And if we bring up this next picture, you're gonna see the "when we go one, we go all," which is, effectively, it's the real world equivalent of shouting "witness me" before you jump in front of a car. And so apparently something crazy potentially they were planning to do. And so in multiple cities, in Detroit and Philadelphia and Arizona and in others, we've got crazies flocking in, and many of them are content to just chant, to run onto live shots and scream at the camera. Some of them are going to want more, and they are being told right now by literally everyone they trust the most in the world that Donald Trump is being robbed of a victory that he earned. And that, remember, if you believe in this QAnon stuff, it's not just that Joe Biden is stealing the presidency. Joe Biden, satanic pedophile, is stealing the presidency so that he can protect people who rape and eat children. That's what these crazies believe. And there's a lot of them, and they're organizing online. Facebook has taken down a group that had hundreds of thousands of members just since the election called Stop the Steal, where people were spreading misinformation and organizing for protests and things like that. There were also potential calls for violence. That group has now been taken down, but splinter cells of it effectively have been set up, Stop the Steal groups. There are crazy people out there, and thankfully police and FBI are doing a good job so far of stopping them, but there's gonna be a lot. And the question is, if Trump keeps doing what he's doing and saying what he's saying, will they be able to stop all of them?
This makes the barbecue, beer, and freedom guy look even more awesome than he did before. Like even more of a level-headed regular Joe than he did before. This is weird, and not for just the obvious reasons, but like, if there was this global cabal of deep state Democrats vying to take control of the government, don't you think they would have taken control of the government? Because they haven't. Don't you think that this cabal would have been, if they are making votes disappear anyway, don't you think they would make those votes disappear from Senate candidates in their way as well?
For Mitch McConnell?
Especially if those Senate candidates have linked themselves so close to Donald Trump. It doesn't make any sense. What has happened is that people have abandoned you. And they're not Democrats because you always hated Democrats. And according to you, Democrats were always against you. Now, who has abandoned you are Republicans. Those are the centrist suburban Republicans who think it's a little much. And I would just say, if you and the family are packing a grip of AR-15s into your Hummer and heading to shoot Philadelphians, I feel like that a bit much argument isn't a bit much. I feel like it's about right.
Yeah. And so, look, we don't even know exactly what that's about. I mean, the idea that they came up there, they have the QAnon thing, they have weapons, that does not guarantee that they planned to shoot the place up, although it seems like a valid concern. I'm worried about it. But yeah, this thing could stretch out for potentially weeks. We're gonna have recounts in Wisconsin, potentially Michigan, although it seems like the gap is too big, but they might still try. Pennsylvania, Arizona, Nevada, and Georgia. So those will all be targets for days at the very least for somebody to do something crazy. And you've got, people like Steve Bannon talking about cutting off people's heads. Roger Stone wants to hang people. Harlan Hill says it's war. And they are all, remember, because these are all right-wing grifters, they are competing right now for the Patreon backers and the money and all that in the future. And the way that they get that right now is by appearing the most unhinged. Because Trump fans want someone to say, go kill these people. They just want someone on a screen yelling at them that it's time to start cutting off heads and shooting people. And so we've already seen some of that. Steve Bannon's account on Twitter has already been banned as a result of that. And we're gonna see more of it. You have the more mainstream Republicans like Mark Levin and Sean Hannity saying, end democracy, just give it to Trump no matter what the voters say. And then you have other people saying, it's not just that this thing was stolen, it's that you need to steal it back. You need to fight and all of that. And so, yeah, very worried. Everybody needs to definitely be on their guard. And even more credit to the people who are doing the counting, knowing that they could potentially be the target of political violence.
And last night, I was also talking to a lifelong Republican, pure capitalist, anti-communist, who points out, a small business guy who, the way I get through to him is to say, like, the big, and he believes that he's like, listen, Mitch McConnell, Nancy Pelosi, they are sitting there, they're fine now, they're happy because nothing has to change. In the meantime, small businesses get saddled with whatever gets foisted on them by whatever. They have to sit there under the dinner table and wait for scraps to fall off. So they're they're marginalized. But what he said is like, listen, in this time, the MAGA heads, and he knows a bunch of them and doesn't fully discount them for reasons that really drive my argument as to like the financial arguments for bringing them over to a more progressive approach to things. But he essentially says when they lose faith in the system, every group that has lost total faith in the system votes for a dictator to say, take care of me, daddy. Mm-hmm. And that's where they're at right now.
Yeah.
Now, how can you get through to them to say, listen, we're gonna take care of you in a way that also scores with something else you've said out loud, which is this is a country where you gotta make it happen.
Yeah.
That's what you've said.
Yeah.
So let's find a way to make it happen that isn't a take care of me daddy thing that is actually, when you think about it, closer to North Korea than anything else.
But yeah, and my final point on this will be, it's like I said about what they think about Joe Biden is this is why it is so dangerous for someone like Donald Trump to be playing games about QAnon and trying to like give him a little wink that it's true. Because in theory, one of the things that allows a democracy to exist is the knowledge that everyone has that when their party loses, this is not the end of the line. We can fight again in 4 years and we can win, okay? We're not permanently out of power. But when you convince your followers that the other party is literally Satan, that they're worshipers of Beelzebub, then they aren't necessarily gonna wait 4 years. And when you combine that with a country with more guns than people, that is not a good situation.
Right, the Beelzebub thing, even for them, is over the top. Like, come on. Where we go one, we go is what it stands for.
Exactly, that's probably what it is. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.